It's a little nerve-wracking. Bottle of water. Yeah. I think that's. Can I actually have my water? Water take pictures. I can't put them. Have my phone. Barely. There's just a lot of interference. DJ's not again. Yeah. Can you bring that chair? I think over that camera. Yeah, I think so. That camera.
Good evening, everyone. At this time, I would like to invite this year's salutatorian, Anthony Lundy, to join me in the welcome and the flag salute.
Welcome to the 2019 commencement ceremony of the 12th graduating class of Barnegat High School. Please join me in the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I ask that all graduates and guests remain standing as the national anthem is sung by members of the select choir. Will members of the select choir please go to the microphone with Mrs. Altanji?
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight for the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Select Choir, and to our ROTC Color Guard.
Single file from the right, forward, march!
I invite Mrs. Valerie Morris, Senior Class Advisor, at this time.
Thank you, Anthony. Welcome, proud parents, grandparents, family, and friends, and the class of 2019. Good evening. It's an honor to be here with you tonight. I am Valerie Morris, along with Emily Cherry, are the advisors for the class of 2019. I would like to welcome the Barnegat Board of Education, President, Mr. Scott Sarno, Vice President, Mr. Robert Geddes, Mrs. Doreen Constanza, Mrs. Christine Harashinsky, Mr. Michael Hickey, Mrs. Maria Pereira, Mrs. Lauren Sarno, Mr. David Sherman, Mr. Peter Toth, our Mayor, Al Cerulli, Mr. John Novak, Deputy Mayor and Township Committee members, Mrs. Linda Croft, Albert Billy, and Pasquale Pipi. I would also like to welcome our Superintendent, Dr. Brian Lotwis, School Business Administrator, Mr. Stephen Brennan, and District Administrators, Mr. R. James Barbieri, Mr. Dan Gunderson, Mr. John Germano, Mrs. Shannon Smith, Mrs. Tracy Dubeck, Mrs. Leah Purpery, Mrs. Christina Smith, and Mrs. Stacy Jackalow. As you all sit here in front of me, seniors, adults, many of you taller than I am at this point, I find myself in a strange position. I have known many of you since you were in kindergarten, maybe even preschool at Noah's Ark. Now, many years later, I'm so proud of you all as you spread your wings and follow your dreams beginning tonight. Initially, I wondered, what would I say to the class of 2019? What words of advice could I possibly give you that your parents and loved ones have not already given you? I decided to share with you the advice that I would give my sons, since they and you are now a captive audience. I decided to focus on choices. So I turned to a youthful source of inspiration, Harry Potter. Several quotes seem so appropriate for the evening. This evening, your parents, your families, your teachers, and your friends are here to celebrate your achievements. You are AP scholars, award-winning musicians, actors, artists, and gifted athletes. As phenomenal as these achievements are, please don't stop there. I will remind you of the advice of that very sage mentor, Albus Dumbledore, when he said, "It's our choices, Harry, that show what we truly are, far more than our abilities. Let your choices propel you upward." Most of you did not consciously choose to attend Barnegat High School, but after tonight, realize that your life choices will begin. After this evening, as you enter the adult years, remember to always choose your path carefully. What you do in life is like dropping a pebble into a lake. The effects are like the rippling of the water. Remember, we've all got both light and dark inside us. What matters is the part we choose to act on. That's who we really are. Now that you're walking the halls of Barnegat High School for the last time, I guarantee that you will face many forks in the road of life. You will most certainly be challenged in the years ahead. Your family, teachers, and friends have given you the tools necessary to make sensible choices. You just need to use them. I guarantee you will be forced to choose between the right path and the easy path. Just remember that although one option may seem easier, it is not always the best choice. Embrace the challenges, for it is in rising to meet the challenge that you will become more than you ever thought possible. I also ask you to look up. Now, by looking up, I do mean that literally. In this age of cell phones, with instantaneous contact and feedback from around the world, I ask that you look up from your cell phones and truly live the life that is right in front of you. Do not miss the opportunity to be truly present with the people that are right next to you. In closing, it has been an honor to know you all. I will never forget the years that you have been here as Bengals. I will cherish the Friday nights under the lights right here on this very field, along with the memories made at Mr. Bengal practices, bonfires, and hallway decorating. I will miss seeing your smiling faces dancing outside my classroom door and the classroom visits. I will even miss chasing you out of the hallways and telling you to go to class. No names mentioned. In closing, I would like to second Professor Dumbledore's sentiments that it matters not what someone is born, but what they grow to be. Please, look up, choose wisely, always. Thank you. I would like to invite Madison Payer, Executive Board President, to MC our evening.
I want to invite the senior class officers forward to present the class gift. Annabelle Grogan, President, Kaylee Pereira, Vice President, Gabby Volerman, Secretary, and Scotty Doty, Treasurer.
On behalf of the senior class, I am proud to present this monetary gift to Barnegat High School to go towards the scrolling electronic marquee for the main lobby.
It is now my distinct privilege to introduce you this year's valedictorian, Madison Payer. Madison will be attending Rutgers University. She is not only our valedictorian, she is our executive board president, and she has also had perfect attendance for all 4 years of high school. So give her a round of applause for that.
Welcome students, staff, parents, administration, and members of the Board of Education. Before I reflect on my time here at Barnegat High School, there are a couple of people I would like to thank. First, I would like to thank my parents. Over the years, you have done so much for me and taught me so many lessons, and I will be forever grateful for that. I would also like to thank my twin sister, Dana. While sometimes it may get annoying that people confuse us for one another or try to insist that we are identical twins, you are my best friend and always will be. To my friends, thank you for making my high school experience one that was full of laughter. To my teachers, I would like to thank you for always supporting me and making my time in high school worthwhile. And lastly, I would like to thank administration and the Board of Education for providing so much for our school. Now, on to my reflection. Over these past 4 years, some interesting things have happened at Barnegat High School. Whether it was learning of an escaped convict in the area or discovering an Instagram account dedicated to water bottles around the school, my time here was never boring, and I am thankful for that. I can truly say I had a unique high school experience, which many people undoubtedly strive for, and I would like to thank the class of 2019 for that. Over these past couple of years, I've learned many lessons as well. I want to pass them on as advice to all of you tonight as we prepare to leave Barnegat High School and enter what many people call the real world. To begin, my first piece of advice would be to always put forth your greatest effort into whatever you do. Anything that you partake in and put forth into the world is a representation of you, so it never hurts for it to be a product of your best effort. My second piece of advice would be to take pride in your accomplishments. While it is always important to be humble, you should still be proud of what you have accomplished and never let anyone take away from that. My last piece of advice would be to find what you are passionate about and use it to contribute to the world. While this may be easier said than done, the reward will be worth it in the end. Russian author Fyodor Dostoevsky summed this up best when he wrote, "The mystery of human existence lies not in just staying alive, but in finding something to live for." So, class of 2019, as we prepare to leave BHS tonight, I hope you heed my advice and remember one thing. Once a Bengal, always a Bengal. And before I leave, I would just like to partake in an executive president tradition real quick. Thank you. I would now like to introduce the musical selection A Million Dreams from The Greatest Showman. Words and music by Benj Pasek and Justin Paul, arranged by Mac Huff, will now be performed by the select choir and chorus seniors. Will they please join Mrs. Altanji at this time?
world that's waiting up for me, that I call my own.
Through the dark, proving who I've been before, and it feels like home.
They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say I've lost our mind. I don't care, so call me crazy. We can live in a world that we design. Every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams, it's all it's gonna take. A million dreams for the world we're gonna make.
There's a house we can build. Every room inside is filled with things from far away.
Special things I found, each one there to make you smile on a rainy day. They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say it lost our minds. I don't care, so call us crazy. Run away to a world that we design. Every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. I think of what the world can be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams, it's all it's gonna take. A million dreams for the world we're gonna make.
However big, however small, let me be a part of it all. Share your dreams with me. We may be right, we may be wrong, but say that you'll bring me along to the world you see. To the world I close my eyes to see. I close my eyes to see. Every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake.
A million dreams. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams, it's all it's gonna take.
A million dreams
For the world we're gonna make. For the world we're gonna make.
Mr. Al Cerulli, Mayor of Barnegat Township, will now say a few words. Mayor Cerulli, we are honored to have you here tonight.
Good evening. It truly is an honor to be here for your graduation. How many of you are excited? Are you excited? All right, well, I'm excited for you. Tonight, we honor the graduating class of 2019. 13 years of education. What a tremendous accomplishment. You did it. You made it through all the trials, tribulations, and social drama. Your journey started when your parents, especially your mom, putting their most precious belonging, that's you, on that school bus or driving you to kindergarten. Ask your mom or dad if they had tears in their eyes or actually cried. They were there and provided the foundation for you to succeed. Without them, your teachers and counselors could not have gotten you here tonight. Remember to thank them. Now you are ready to move on to pursue careers through college, the military, trade school, or directly enter the workforce. I can't help but mention that you are stepping out into one of the most exciting and tumultuous times in our history. As our nation tries to find its political equilibrium, we are seeing tremendous amounts of misinformation. For those who are especially attending academic institutions, I would advise that you seek multiple and diverse sources of information before forming any of your own opinions regarding the solutions to the problems of our country. Tonight is a celebration and the realization that you will have a part in shaping the future of this nation. Every one of you has a God-given destiny to fulfill. No matter what jobs you have or obstacles that you will face in your life, give it your best and always know that you are not alone. There is a saying that I always quote, "When you were born, you cried, and the world rejoiced. May you live your life so that when you die, the world will cry and you will rejoice." Congratulations on a job well done, and may God bless and protect you in your future endeavors. This I ask in the name of Jesus Christ. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mayor Cerulli. I would now like to introduce you to this year's salutatorian, Anthony Lundy. Anthony will be attending Montclair State University.
Good evening, friends and family, and welcome to the graduation ceremony of the class of 2019. Today is the summer solstice, which means it is the longest day of the year. I'm sure for some of you it certainly feels that way, so I'll try to be brief. It is my honor to stand here and speak as your salutatorian, or as some may call second in class, the first loser. I don't think anyone here is a loser, though. After all, we're all graduating. As President John F. Kennedy said, every accomplishment starts with a decision to try. Despite chronic senioritis, we all tried and we all succeeded. With luck, this will be the first in a long line of successes, and I know we are capable of great things. See, success isn't just measured in numbers or in grades. It is in the impact we have on the world around us and in the support we give and receive. I know what it is like to stress about numerical success. As most, if not all of my teachers are aware, I am a terrible procrastinator. I have ruined my sleep schedule for more than one assignment in that deadly cycle of stress, which leads to putting it off, which leads to more stress, which leads to putting it off further, and so on. I know the feeling of completing assignments at 1 or 2 in the morning. May or may not include this speech. I know the lapses in mental acuity caused by this lack of sleep and stress. I have had a friend of mine, an honors and AP student, ask me for the word for smell flavor, to which I had to remind him of the word scent. I know of the stresses of striving for good grades to get into a great school or a fulfilling occupation or even military service. But this is not all that success is. As the painter Bob Ross said, there's nothing in the world that breeds success like success. As far as I'm concerned, the fact that you're all sitting here in front of me speaks volumes to the kinds of successes you're all headed for. Success in relationships, in community, in service, in kindness, and in yourself. Things that numbers cannot begin to describe. I have had the fortune of being a member of 6 different clubs and 1 sport in my time at BHS, including the GSA, of which I was the vice president. Because of this, I encountered students and faculty of diverse backgrounds and experiences. I have watched people grow and change. I have watched them struggle, and I have seen these struggles pay off. I'm intrigued to see whose yearbook signatures I get to show off years down the line. I think it is the nature of a public school system to learn more from experiences and interactions with those around you than perhaps the curriculum. I have seen true unity and community in this school, from interactive water bottle accounts on Instagram, with which I had, of course, no part, to spirited pep rallies, to pride in one's character and acts of kindness carried out when no one is watching. And so I would like to thank some of these people. Thank you to my parents for supporting me through my entire journey. Shout out to Deborah and Steve. Thank you to Miss Stella for your unwavering faith and positivity. And of course, your willingness to deal with my ramblings and doodles. Thank you to Miss Jennings for helping me hone my talents in both tennis and in art for a kid whose art was used as the bad example in elementary school. Thank you to Mr. Kefner for your dedication in making your students become better versions of themselves in class, on stage, and in life. Thank you to Ms. Bullenbach for granting me the confidence to be someone else on stage and to be myself everywhere else. You and Mr. Kefner helped turn, wow, I wish I could do that, into, wow, I really did that, for a kid whose stage fright was so bad he couldn't picture himself anywhere but behind the curtain. Thank you to Mr. Nickel and Dr. Latwis for being approachable presences with a clear drive to improve the schools and a willingness to work alongside students to do so. Lastly, I would like to thank all of you for enriching my high school experience and shaping me into the person I am. Take that walk across the stage, that bridge into a new life for your future, for your peers, for those who didn't make it to graduation, and for yourself. I can't wait to see who we all become. I'll see you at the reunion.
Annabelle Grogan was an excellent class leader. As senior class president, Annabelle has a few words to share with her classmates.
Do the things you want to now because time is running out. Mr. Kefner told our 2B English class that back in January. At the time, we all looked around thinking that we couldn't wait to graduate, but as I stand before you today, I see tears and regret of what we could have done differently. It's time to say goodbye to BHS, goodbye to the amazing teachers here who have shaped us into the people we are today, and finally, goodbye to each other. We've gone through everything together, from stealing Tim's chair, getting kicked out of the Skylark Motel, losing our beloved access to the Wi-Fi, and dressing up at Friday night football games. From Manny's dance moves at Mr. Bangle, to Zach Zenz playing the ukulele on the lunchroom tables and having our senior assassin ruined, I am truly going to miss all of our memories. Our hearts will always hold a special place for things like foregoing court, getting lip tattoos that we probably shouldn't have, and amazing teachers like Mr. Kefner, Mrs. Kovitz, Mr. Doviak, and Mrs. Quick, who never gave up on us. As we leave BHS and embark on the next chapter of our lives, I encourage you to pursue whatever makes you happy. Do not let high school be the best 4 years of your life, and carry the determination that we were taught here to wherever you end up. While others may not believe so, our generation has so much to offer the world, and I wish the best to each and every one of you. The only way I know how to end this speech of mine is with a favorite quote from, you guessed it, Harry Potter. So class of 2019, I leave you with this: what's coming will come, and we'll meet it when it does.
Thank you, Annabelle. I would now like to invite Mr. Scott Sarno, Board of Education President, to share a few words.
Thank you. As you can see, always windy up at Barnegat High School field. Got to always expect it. Okay, I'd like to first say thank you for inviting me to speak today. I am very excited to be here to join you in celebrating this wonderful occasion. On behalf of the Barnegat Board of Education, I'd like to first give thanks to our amazing administration that went above and beyond everything we could have hoped for during this school year. To our incredible staff, who we all know are the most dedicated, caring, and brightest educators in the state. We as parents, administrators, and board members can never thank you enough for all that you do to mold our children into who they are Again, we thank you from the bottom of our hearts. The Barnegat School District emphasizes the values of family very prominently and much in everything that we do. Over the last several years, our district motto has been, when you come here to work with our children, you become part of the Barnegat family. So to all the families of those graduating tonight, congratulations to you, for this is also an important milestone for you. You'll now have a new room for an office, a smaller grocery bills, and less laundry to do. But seriously, you should know that your support through this process made an enormous impact on your child's success. I'm sure you're very proud of your graduates as they close this portion of their lives and prepare for the next step in their life. Now, I'd like to say congratulations to each one of you, Barnegat class of 2019. You should be very, very proud of yourselves for accomplishing this goal. Well done. I know you're all must be very excited to get your hands on your diplomas and run out into the world, or run out and to celebrate your milestone tonight. So I'll keep my remarks brief. Graduation is one of those steps in life that defines a coming of age, the ending of one era of life as a student or the one being shown the ropes, and moving on to a new stage in which you are a leader, a doer, and an achiever in a wider world. I'm sure most of you have firm plans and good ideas of what is coming next. Some of you have a very good idea of what you want to do next, a dream and a lot of hope to get you there. Maybe to college, maybe the military, or maybe the workforce. While some of you are still amazed that you got to this graduation point at all. Well, the coming times will be exciting, but they will be all dependent upon you and your determination. Thomas Jefferson, one of our nation's founding fathers, said, "If you want something you've never had, you must be willing to do something you've never done." So this is your time to go after those things you've always dreamed of, that have inspired you and that have moved you to make decisions for your future. Those here that know me know running has always been a big part of my life. I began when I was 12 years old. It has given me focus, drive, and motivation in everything that I do. Anyone who has ever run competitively knows the running legend Steve Prefontaine. He is a phoenix in the world of running and was one of the greatest American runners ever, who unfortunately died tragically in a car accident in his prime. Steve Prefontaine has many famous quotes attributed to him dealing with his drive, guts, and determination. I'm going to share two of them with you tonight that have always motivated me and kept me focused on my goals. The first, and maybe his most famous quote, is, "To give anything less than your best is to sacrifice the gift." Each of you sitting here tonight has a gift. Some of you have realized what your gift already is, and some of you may take a little longer to find it and pursue it. But believe me, each of you have a unique talent, skill, or passion inside you that you can do better than anyone else. You just have to find it. For each of you that has realized your gift you were given, whether it's in art, medicine, athletics, education, business, or design, always attack it with everything you have and then even more. And when you find it and begin a career at doing it, you'll never work a day in your life. Steve Prefontaine was known as a ferocious competitor and trainer. He invented many new training methods, and he would run workouts that at times literally put him near death. He truly hated losing. He was the first athlete to wear Nike sneakers. He was always looking for an edge over his competition. This leads me to his second quote. "No matter how hard you train, somebody will train harder. No matter how hard you run, somebody will run harder. No matter how hard you want it, somebody will want it more. I am that somebody." As each of you take your next step in life, moving out of high school, where you probably competed with each other for grades and athletics, and maybe even for boyfriend and girlfriends, know that in the real world you are now entering, you are still going to be competing, but not with just a few hundred individuals. It'll be now with millions of others seeking the same thing that you are. So always remember, there are no shortcuts to achieve your goals and dreams, only hard work. Somebody will always be there challenging you and competing with you in everything you do. The only way not to sacrifice that gift you were given is to outwork everybody, outthink everyone, and have more desire than everyone else. You were given a great foundation over the 18 years with the guidance and support you received from your families and with the education you received here in Barnegat to ensure that you achieve everything you desire and dream of. Lastly, I challenge each one of you in this next phase of your life. Never sacrifice that gift you were given. Always be daring and do that something you've never done. And be that somebody that is always outworking everybody else. I wish you the best of luck in each one of your futures. And again, I congratulate you, the Barnegat High School class of 2019. Best of luck.
Thank you, Mr. Sarno. Finally, it is my honor to invite Dr. Brian Latwis, Superintendent, to the microphone. I personally would like to thank Dr. Latwis for all of the work he did in bringing us to this day. He is surely appreciated.
Good evening. I would like to take a second to thank the Board of Education, administrative team, staff, the township, and of course, the parents and guardians who have continuously supported the class of 2019 to reach graduation day. It is said that it takes a village to raise a child, and we have an extraordinary village, a village that helps our students become the amazing young men and women that we see before us today. So can we take a moment to show that appreciation? To the class of 2019, congratulations on your accomplishment. Whatever your next step is, your next phase in your journey, lean on the things that make you a Bengal. Always remember your roots and be true to yourself. This day marks the end to an exciting chapter in your life, but hopefully it has set the foundation from which you can achieve the impossible. In 1944, 75 years ago, Allied forces stormed the beaches of Normandy to fight for our freedom. Many brave and courageous Americans lost their lives or were injured so that we can enjoy the rights and privileges afforded to us in this great nation. So I ask each of you, what are you willing to fight for? What do you believe in so deeply that you would risk everything, sacrificing everything to make that happen? In 1969, 50 years ago, the United States Apollo 11 was the first crewed mission to land on the moon. We have all heard the famous quote, "That's one small step for a man and one giant leap for mankind." The next 50 years will be defined by each of you. What miracles will you be responsible for? And what will you dream into reality? In 1994, 25 years ago, Netscape Navigator was released, which is considered the first commercially successful web browser. It quickly became the leading web browser in the market and was offered free to schools and nonprofit organizations. So I challenge you. What will you do that changes the way that we look and function within this world? Most of us live our lives by accident. We accept life as it happens. Fulfillment comes when we live our lives on purpose. I said before to remember your roots and be true to yourself. Bengals are smart, they're strong, and they're beautiful. Bengals are driven. They will stop at nothing to achieve their goals. You are all Bengals, and you are all destined for greatness. What will your destiny be, and how will you author it? Remember, working hard for something you do not care about is called stress. Working hard for something that you love is called passion. It is truly an honor to be your superintendent of schools. Thank you for that privilege. As my first graduating class, each of you will hold an extra special place in my heart. So please do not be a stranger. Come back and get involved. And remember, once a Bengal, always a Bengal. Lastly, I would like to take a moment to honor any students who are entering the armed forces. So would each of you please stand up and be recognized? Thank you, each for your bravery and your courage. To the class of 2019, congratulations again, and I wish each of you nothing but the very best that life has to offer. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Latwis. Mr. Nickel, would you please come to the microphone to present the class of 2019 for graduation?
We're almost getting ready. The class of 2019 will be receiving their diplomas as well as a certificate from Mayor Mr. Al Cerulli. Diplomas will be given out tonight by Mr. Scott Sarno, Mr. Robert Geddes, Mrs. Christine Harashinsky, Mr. David Sherman, and Mrs. Lauren Sarno. It is with my great pleasure that I present to you the Barnegat High School graduating class of 2019. Those who are graduating tonight have fulfilled all the requirements for graduation as outlined by the New Jersey Department of Education and the Barnegat Township Board of Education. Please do not yell out after a name is read or sound air horns. Thank you.
At this time, I'd like to invite Mrs. Christine Heroshinsky to the front of the stage. Madison M. Payer. Anthony Richard Lundy. Kendall Marie Birch. Dana M. Payer. Gabriella Michelle Ferrul. Annabelle R. Grogan. Kaylee Rose Pereira. Gabrielle Volerman. Scott W. Doty. Jacqueline Ray Akampora. Kayla Marie Agudo. Gareth N. Aguilar. Naeem Amar Dakno. Precious Anderson. Emmanuel Josiah Arroyo. Justin Michael Bach. Isaiah Spadilla Urena. Jada Baker. At this time, I'd like to invite Mr. Nickel to the podium.
I ask you please to draw your attention to my left as I invite Airman First Class Rick Ballas, Barnegat High School class of 2017, to present his brother Dylan Ballas with his diploma. Come on up, Dylan. Airman First Class, we'd be honored if you share the stage with us for the remainder of the program. Please.
Thank you. Cassandra Danielle Bosicat. Matthew Began. Kevin Michael Becker. Gianni T. Belomo. Mark A. Belvit Jr. Courtney Kathleen Blair. Nicole Lorraine Bonin. Jillian Bopp. Jeffrey Malik Bowen. Sydney Patricia Boyer. Kirsten A. Breda. Jordan M. Burton. Sloan Riley Callahan. Dylan Joel Capuccio. Carly Sue Carlock. Antonio J. Cassio. Juliana R. Cassio. Austin Jared Celestino. David R. Ciani. Joseph John Coleman. Callie Sky Collins. Gianna Marianne Connors. Colleen Elizabeth Connors. Kayla Lynn Cooney. Rihanna M. Cooper. Aaron Costello. Charles S. Cotton. Shane Michael Craig. Robert R. Crawford. Elizabeth Julia Critelli. Janady Cruz. Anthony Cotillo. Matthew Brandon Daly. Dexter Dambrowski. Matthew Thomas Davies. Bradley De La Rosa Romero. Maxwell Ryan DeGennaro. Mario Delgado Cardenas. Jared C. DiNicolo. Andrew DiStesso. Hunter K. Dougherty. Brian Mitchell Dwyer. Jessica M. Easton. Brian Ewan. David Andrew Falkowski. Jonathan Michael Falkowski. Eric Allen Feraldi. Cara Lucia Farino. Rachel Ann Firamasca. Brian Finucane. Jessica Maria Fiore. Salvatore Fiorello. Eugene Joseph Fleming. Christian Fromey. Elena Michelle Galati. Emily C. Garvin. Thank you, Mrs. Sarno. At this time, I'd like to invite Board of Education member Mr. Robert Geddes to the front of the stage. Kyle J. Geddes. Jillian Riley Geringer. Jesse Tyler Giamis. Casey L. Gill. Michael Anthony Godfrey. Philip M. Gogarty V. Vincent J. Ganella. Jaylene Emily Gonzalez. Valerie P. Gonzalez. Atia T. Green. Anthony Jean Grimes Jr. Anthony Robert Gross. Dominic J. Giro. Olivia Faith Hare. John N. Hauser. Allison Claire Higgins. Samantha N. Holler. Kyra Jade Hollister. Megan Renee Hominich. Anthony Irizarry. Cruz Jasso. Aaron Michael Jensick. Peter S. Jennings. Kyle Patrick Keenan. Robert A. Kilner. Alexander Kinder. Michael C. Kozer. Haley Kazemko. Matthew Culpa. Nicholas Carmine Lambert. Francesca Lamberty. Jamie Angelis Landrin. Joseph Robert Lauer. Timothy Joseph Lauterbach. Victoria Paige Leonard. Melissa R. Lewis. Jelani E. Lewis Castagna. Lavanna Longo. Nicolina Rose Lizito. Thank you, Mr. Geddes. At this time, I'd like to turn the mic over to Mr. Dallin to continue to read the names of our graduates.
Thank you, Ms. Johns. At this time, I'd like to invite Board of Education member Mr. Sherman up to the stage to assist in handing out diplomas to our graduates. Liam Zachary Lynch Bell. Jacob K. McAvoy. David McGilvery. Sean Matthew Maggi. Brendan Richard Malia. Ryan Anthony Manjaruga. Noah James Mattiello. Franco N. Mazzio. Owen Charles McAvoy. Suzanne Amelia McConlogue. Maya Ray McCord. Molly Lynn McEnany. Chloe Elizabeth McGee. Kenneth G. McKeon. Keith Meyer Jr. Justin Montanez. Carlos Davis Marino Vargas. Sean W. Morris. Robert P. Murdoch Jr. Andy Johnny Nueto Zuniga. Gianna Noda. Richard R. Norman III. Antonia Noyola Jr. You're welcome. Kelsey Brooke Nyman. Gabrielle L. Offerman. Richard Andrew Orr. Nicole Silva Oliveira. Scott Gino Oppenheimer Jr. Donald A. Ortiz. Dakota S. Otero. Alex Pace. Kyle M. Paez. Giancarlo Pinone. Jason Stephen Pappas Jr. Parth Patel. Colby R. Pearson. Gabrielle Nicole Pellicciati. Robert Vernon Perini Jr., Jonathan Michael Petro, Elizabeth Ann Phillip, Jonathan A. Pierre, Alyssa Marie Polofsky, Gabrielle Pyrus, Tristan J. Porcelli, William James Powers, Dylan Luke Pristino, Caroline Noel Purdon, Antonino Ranieri, Michael William Ramos, Raymond Sage Ramos, Dylan Rapp, Kyla Stephanie Ann Roush, Jeffrey J. Rawley, Rose Richards, Amanda C. Rios, Brianna Jade Rivera, Megan Robichaud, Kareem A. Robles Mendoza, Joel L. Roig, Manuel Alejandro Rosario Abreu, Emma C. Rush, Aaron A. Salinas, Karina Santiago, Luke Antonio Santiago, Aaron A. Santora Douglas. Thank you, Mr. Sherman. At this time, I'd like to invite up Board of Education President Mr. Scott Sarno and also Mrs. Lauren Sarno to help distribute diplomas out to our graduates. Next, Francis Cole Sarno V. Sarah Lorraine Smidlin. Ashley N. Schmidt. Matthew Shaffrey. Mackenzie R. Shields. Juliana Nicole Sugar. Nick J. Silvestri.
Come on, Mr. Dallin. Come on.
Justin Simpson.
Hey, yo, let's get it. Hey, yo, let's get it. Yeah. We out here. Let's go.
Nina Epiphany Singh. Christian M. Sitta. Kyle John Smith. Dwight Darren Smith Fernandez Jr. Samantha L. Sacadato. Gina Marie Spano. Nicholas Spitz. Ava L. Stamnus. Noah Gregory Stickle. Jason Daniel Sugden. Jillian Christina Sullivan. Tyler Thomas Sudan. Kira Ann Swift. Aiden N. Ty. Chloe N. Tedesco. Elizabeth Grace Terranova. Henry A. Traphagen. Allison A. Truax. Dominic Anthony Urso. Jessica D. Velez. Joseph M. Velez. Matthew Ventolo. Thomas Peter Vick. Maria Villanueva. Tyler James Vogel. Nicole Volerman. Hunter M. Wagner. Michael T. Walker. Jesse Kaylin Walsh. Ashley L. Walter. Lauren Rose Walters. Shauna Elizabeth Yodice. Jason K. Zahn. Zachary A. Zentz. Mohammed B. Zermain. I would now like to invite Mr. Nickel up to the center podium for closing remarks.
Good evening. We're almost there, guys. But before I close this momentous evening, I must thank a few people that truly make tonight special. The secretaries in the main office, Janet, Terry, Carrie, and Vivian. Thank you for the countless hours, yes, that you've put in making tonight special for all graduates. Also, thank you to the buildings and grounds, as well as the custodians led by Bob and Neil for their tremendous job for tonight. I would also like to thank the parents, guardians, and families of those graduating tonight. Without you, ultimately, none of this would be possible. You should be proud of everyone that's sitting in front of me. To the graduates, as you look back at what you have accomplished and the memories you've made and the milestones you've surpassed, in what may seem like 4 very long years, let me assure you that to your teachers, administrators, and certainly parents, it went by very fast. Time is truly a precious thing, and it is important for you to realize that it is something you will never get back. Remember the lessons you have learned and hold on to the true friendships that you have made. Follow your dreams and take with your values and traits that we all know will bring you great success. As I sat down to gather some thoughts on what I would say to you tonight, it dawned on me that, well, many of you were born in 2001, and how since then much of the world has changed. Obviously, the biggest change in 2001 were the terrorist attacks in the United States on September 11th. Although some of you were infants and may not have been born yet, in many ways, that single event has shaped the way you've grown up and the way we live our lives today. That was a terrible day in our country's history, but a day that also reminded our country of the value of being united and coming together as one. We were also reminded of the important values of sacrifice, bravery, courage, and perseverance. Those are the core values that were embedded into your education that you've received at Barnegat High School and make you ready for whatever is ahead of you. There are many things that occurred in your lifetime, too, that you may take for granted, yet that have shaped you and made you the person that you are today sitting in front of us. The internet, something that has drastically changed our lives and may be something that you don't even remember living without. Today, you can talk on a phone and use the internet at the same time, something that when I was sitting there, you could not do at my age. You can rent movies off Amazon Prime or on demand instead of going to Blockbuster. You now get instant updates from the President of the United States on Twitter. You no longer have to memorize phone numbers. You text instead of leaving voicemails. Everyone has a smartphone, and nobody even remembers what a Nokia was. You have the option of watching television without commercials, and you can take photos from your cell phone instead of a film camera. You can look at them instantly, retake them, and then share them. In 20 years from now, though, I hope that for you, is that you don't take anything for granted and that you don't let life pass you by. Enjoy the changes, new adventures, and whatever that life has in store for you. Remember, you have the power to change the world, leave a positive impact on the way we live our lives, and you are the future leaders. I urge you to use that time each day to be the leader, better yourself, and see the good in all people. I can assure you that you leave here with the tools to change the world. But don't forget where you came from. Barnegat has been your home and always will be. You are certainly left your mark in Barnegat history. Congratulations to the class of 2019. Will the Executive Board of Officers and senior class please join me on stage?
Ready? 1, 2, 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
They're looking to throw.
I present to you the class of 2019. As the class of 2019 leaves Barnegat High School for the last time, I ask you on behalf to remain in your place so they can leave as they wish as Bengals. Congratulations, class of 2019. One time only. One time, 2 times solo. One. Call me. 1.